Okay, I get the question a lot of how often should we introduce new songs? You know, how many new songs in a month's time, let's say. And I know that a lot of us are kind of music junkies, you know, we got getting new CDs all the time, we're learning new songs all the time. But we have to remember that our congregation is not necessarily keeping up with us in that kind of a pace, you know. So for us, we get tired of songs quicker than they might, and I always try to keep that in mind, you know. We've done Here I Am to Worship, Blessed Be the Name, a lot of classic songs, How Great Is Our God, and yet, you know, we may be ready to move on, and yet whenever you do that song, you get a sense that people, they're no longer reading the words, but they're actually just connecting with the Lord, and they know the song by heart now. It's in their heart, it's in their minds. They can just sing and pray out the words. So I don't want to, you know, get rid of a familiar song too soon, especially if it's really working and it's really, people really connect with God through that song. But I kind of have over the years, sort of a guideline that has worked for me, is that in any 4-week period, I'm thinking about introducing maybe 2, at the most 3 songs. Okay? So for example, week 1, I'll do 1, or let's say there's 4 or 5 songs in our set list. I'll make sure that there's plenty of familiar songs, maybe a hymn, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, you know. So I'll do maybe 1 or 2 familiar songs and then introduce new song A. Let's just call it new song A. And so we go ahead and do that, and I get a sense in my gut that, you know, that people seem to really connect with that. They seem to really, so, all right, the second week, I'm thinking, okay, how about if we come back with song A, and why don't we repeat that? So we'll do a familiar song, the song from last week, and then maybe I'll introduce new song B. Okay, depends, or maybe that's enough. I'm just coming back with A. All right, by the 3rd week, you know, maybe I'll give A a rest, but I'll go ahead and repeat song B. All right, so we're in our 3rd week right now, and we've introduced 2 new songs in 3 weeks. Okay, and then maybe here's the 4th week. Maybe I give song B a rest. I bring song A back one more time, and that's kind of being rotated in as a regular. They've heard it on week 1, week 2, gave it a rest on week 3. Now I'm repeating it on week 4. You know, now it seems like it's almost becoming part of our rotation. And then also week 4, I may introduce new song C. That makes sense. So in a 4-week period, I'm introducing A, B, C, three new songs. And that's kind of how I'm doing it. Now occasionally I'll do a song once or twice, and I just feel like, man, as much as I love that song, I'm surprised people, they're just not getting it, or in the midst of doing it in the church, for some reason, you get this sense that it's maybe the verse is a little clumsy, or maybe your singers weren't singing it confidently, or there's any number of reasons why it may not be working. And that's part of your job and part of your team, is to try to discern, why isn't that working? Isn't that something we thought that would be really powerful, but people seem to have a hard time grabbing onto that. And so many times, out of every 2 or 3 songs I introduce, I kind of make the choice, probably won't bring that one back. But anyway, try that. Just try that. And I think any more than that, your people are no longer, they're not worshiping enough. They're actually just reading a lot, you know. So if you're trying to introduce 2 new songs every week, then they're just doing a lot of reading, and they never get a chance to totally just disconnect from that overhead and close their eyes and just sing it out and worship the Lord with it, you know. So it's that balance. Definitely want to introduce new songs. We don't want to get stuck singing the same old songs. The Bible says, you know, I will celebrate, I will sing to the Lord a new song. So it's important that we continue to bring in new songs, but we don't want to just overtax our people. You know, let's keep giving them something familiar, something that they can really worship with.